Hey guys, Jacob from CVP, and today we've got a first look at Zeiss's new Supreme lenses. With full frame sensors finally coming over to the cinematography market in cameras like Arri's LF, Red's Monstro, Sony's Venice, and Canon's C700 full frame, there are obviously a need for full frame lenses for these cameras. So Arri have their signature primes they've released with the LF, you have the Cooke S7s and the Leica Talias, but in the upper end, there really isn't anything else. So Zeiss have finally come out with these new lenses that cover a 44.62 image circle, which is enough for full frame. So there are 13 lenses in the set, going from a 15 all the way up to a 200, and all of them are T1.5, apart from the 15mm, which is a T1.8, and the 200mm, which is a T2.1. For our test today, we've got the 25, 29, 35, 50, and 85. These are the kind of regular focal lengths that they're going to be shipping fairly soon, and some of the other focal lengths like the 15 and the 200 are going to be released later on down the line. So looking at them physically, they're much smaller than I thought they were going to be. They are nowhere near as large as like a Master Prime or an S7. They're more akin to the Talias or an Ultra Prime, like much smaller, and they're really well physically designed. They have a kind of recessed clamp-on ring for matte boxes, so all of them are 95mm apart from the wide and some of the tellies, which are 114mm. In terms of how the focus and the aperture feel, they're fantastic. The Master Primes, for me, were quite fast. Like the focus was very easy to move, which some people liked, but I'm more of a fan of the Leica kind of style of mechanics. They're much more sturdier, much more kind of smooth and buttery. So they've gone that route with these ones, and I think it's a great change. And the aperture also feels really good, really smooth, but has a nice weight to it. Not fast, not really hard, but that perfect weight. Talking about size, I think they're going to be great for people who also want to put them on gimbals, because the length and the weight don't differ too much, and from what I can tell, the gear placement on the ones I've got is extremely close. There's only like a 1mm shift with one of the focal lengths. Zeiss introduced extended data with the CP3s, and now it's back with the Supremes, which makes much more sense to us as we can see them being targeted much more towards high-end productions, which will make use of the improved workflow, especially when it comes to VFX. Zeiss also brought over their interchangeable mount system onto Supremes. It's very similar to the CP2, CP3 and the Master Prime system, so it's really easy for end users to mount swap and also to shim their lens as well. We shot some tests to show how they perform. We shot using a Red Monstro in 8K HD. Here we've composed a frame with two different subjects with varying skin tone, a Macbeth chart to showcase colour, two stands in the edges of frame to show distortion and breathing when racking focus. We put fairy lights in the background for bokeh and to also show chromatic aberration. We also panned left and right to show distortion while moving and to show spherical distortion in the bokeh. We've added some timestamps to make it easier for you to navigate through the different focal lengths or to skip to my test conclusion. Zeiss are known for their cold glass, but I'm happy to say that this isn't the case with these lenses. These lenses are more akin to the Master Primes than some of Zeiss's lower tiered offerings, which is great. Colour is reproduced very well, and skin looks like a great balance of sharpness and softness. The bokeh on these lenses is interesting. Each lens has 16 aperture blades, and when stopped down you can tell, as the bokeh is fairly round, but wide open you get cat's eye bokeh. You can also see some spherical distortion in some cases. Distortion is really well controlled on all 5 of the focal lengths. Breathing is definitely apparent on all these lenses. To be honest, this comes down to personal preference, but I see breathing as a character, and depending on the use case, this could be a desired effect or not. We also shot some flare tests. For this, we used a DLAD7, pointed straight at the camera and panned and tilted the camera. Again, we've added some timestamps through the different focal lengths or to skip to my test conclusion. Flaring on the lenses is actually really consistent across the set. Flaring is obviously a very subjective thing, but I think flaring on these lenses is gorgeous. I really like the red colouring. I also like the way it handles light sources going out of the frame. It creates a really interesting effect. We also shot some focus charts. These are 8K stills from the Monstro. As well as a focus chart, I was also able to check these lenses on our projector. All their focus scales were bang on, and they all resolve 200 line pairs easily in the centre. The 85, 35 and 29 hold that sharpness well into the corners. The 85 is definitely the standout here though. The 25 and 50 fall off at the corners of Super 35 coverage. The 25 and 50 are also quite flary wide open, but this does go away at around T2. In terms of sharpness, they are much sharper on the market, but that isn't the defining character on these lenses. We only had a day with these lenses before they had to go back to Zeiss, but we did manage to capture some short clips outside. Overall, Zeiss have done a great job of producing lenses that strike a nice balance between being smooth and sharp. Out of focus elements are rendered nicely, colours are true, and skin tones are smooth. They are small enough to not intimidate users to use them on gimbals and stabilizers, and the combination of amazing feeling focus and iris rings, easy to use interchangeable mount system, extended data, and a well thought out physical design make the Supremes a very compelling option for DPs, and put them up there with the mechanical design of Leica's Summilux Cs. Those are our thoughts on the lenses. Let us know what you think down in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe for more videos coming soon.